The Midday Mix on Mix 93.8.
Mike, welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
Oh, good to be back, Damian. Yep, absolutely perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so we're going to be chatting about business today and about taking risks. And, reading through what we were going to chat about today, a big thing came to my mind. And the thing that stood out most was if you want to risk it, you got to risk it to get the biscuit, right? And this is so true. I mean, risk versus reward is a big factor in life, not only in business. And in terms of business, would you say, taking risks, living on the edge, would those be keys to happiness and success?
Damian, absolutely. Almost everything worth doing is risky. Are you stuck in a comfort zone and just hoping to have a mistake-free, loss-free, stress-free life? But it may sound like a good life, but it's actually the no-life way to go. Too much safety and comfort bore me, Damian, and lead to apathy and a life of mediocrity. You will never get where you want to be if you don't take risks. It's as simple as that.
So what do you think the main reason is that people are kind of risk averse, that they want to sit and play it safe?
Then the main reason why we don't challenge the status quo is because the unknown is more risky and therefore our fear of failure kicks in. This is the seesaw of success and failure, or worse, living an existence of mediocrity. Most ideas never get off the ground because people are afraid to take a risk and fail. Those who have achieved real success in life have overcome the fear of failure and often risk the most to get there.
Most definitely. Now, it's easy to say, you should take risks and be a little bit more, risk friendly. But taking risk unnecessarily is obviously not the smartest plan. Obviously, you're going to need to calculate it and make intelligent choices when it comes to those risks.
Absolutely. There's one thing about taking risks, but let's not be foolish. The risk must be calculated and intelligent and should be constructive and positive. Intelligent risk-taking is to imagine all the things that could possibly go wrong when making a decision or whether or not to take a risk. The trick is then to put all the measures in place that you can to prevent those things from happening. Nothing will ever be perfect. So there comes a time when action needs to be taken. You cannot possibly prepare for every outcome. You need to have some faith in yourself and the fact that you'll be able to handle whatever comes your way. And then here's a big thing. If we hit the wall and we go down, there's nothing wrong with that. But we have to learn from that failure and move forward.
Now, of all those skills that you could learn to better yourself and utilize in your life, what would you say is one of the most important ones?
It comes down to what we're talking about. I believe risk-taking is one of the most important. Imagine how dull your life would be if you never took chances. Without taking risks, you must never have found those great things you have discovered in your life. Everything great in life requires some risk to make it happen. Becoming a risk-taker seems to have a negative connotation to it. The word brings up images of danger, hazards, or even loss. But no matter how dangerous the idea of risk-taking is, there's even a greater danger of not taking risks. Risks are a key ingredient to living life to the fullest. Fortunately, the skills of becoming a successful risk-taker can be learned. It's impossible to become successful while always playing it safe. Taking well-calculated risks can bring unimaginable opportunities. When taking a risk doesn't pan out the way you had hoped, simply as I said before, learn from it and keep moving forward. Big dreams and great success aren't realized by playing it safe.
100%. Now, when we talk about being a successful risk taker, what do you think, in your opinion, is the best way to become a successful risk taker?
Damian, we've touched on this briefly before as it leads on to our discussions over the year. But it's important. Start small and then go big. Just get in the habit of saying yes to new things. Some things might not be as good as you expected, but you'll be surprised how often you find something great. Once you build up the habit of trying new things, you want to experiment with some bigger things. If you keep at it, eventually you'll get really good at taking risks. Your success rate will improve as you have all the risks-taking experience behind you. Risk-taking and taking action work hand in hand. Learn to take action. Often the difference between a successful person and a failure is not that one has better abilities or ideas, but the courage that one has to bet on one's ideas, to take a calculated risk, and of course, Damian, to act. And we must remember the words of Leo Buscaglia. The person who risks nothing, does nothing, has nothing, is nothing, and becomes nothing. He may avoid suffering and sorrow, but he simply cannot learn and feel and change and grow and love and live. I love that quote. Another point here, are you prepared to look back one day in your twilight years, wondering what you could have done?
Yeah, I think especially in life, those what ifs can weigh very heavily on you, and you don't want to look back and say, only if I'd only done this or I'd only done that. You need to also, I think, focus on betting on yourself. I think a lot of people have a problem with that. They get held back and they're like, can I do this?
Absolutely. And like I said, we've got to be intelligent, and we've got to be calculated. And I think that's the key. It goes very closely hand in hand with taking risks. We can't just go out there and take any form of risk at will. Yeah. We've got to combine that, of course, with to be calculated and to be intelligent about that risk. But let's take risk.
Let's do it. Thank you so much for your time, Mike. As always, we appreciate it. We'll catch up with you again next Tuesday.
Thank you. We look forward, Damian. Take care.
Cheers. Mike Anderson, the CEO and founder of NSBC Africa. If you'd like some more advice on what they do or some more information, you can go to their website, www.nsbc.africa.
The Midday Mix on Mix 93.8.